Hello, hello, hello. I'm Vakisha Fripp.
And I'm Patrice Johnson.
And together we are
the voice of her.
Yes, I could understand everybody's distaste and disagreements in the way that I have chosen to live my life. And I find it funny too when everyone's always coming and being like, he's playing you and he's playing. I'm like, technically speaking, we all know about each other. It's just, how much do you want to know? How much are you choosing to know? And I trust the connection that I have with Nick.
So is Nick your primary partner?
Nick is my primary partner. Yes. During this pregnancy, I'm monogamous by choice. I'm monogamous by choice, and that's very important for me to state. But if a connection comes, and it doesn't necessarily have to be sex, and I think that's what everybody always thinks is, oh my God, you guys are having one big orgy. And it's like, actually, no, it's actually quite the opposite, and it's beautiful. And it could be, I think that people are so focused on what it is that they're afraid of. And that's...
Well, in truth, they're afraid of what's happening to Nick. Right. They're afraid of it turning into multiple children.
Naturally.
Yeah, now that's some stuff right there. Now, I have to say, you see people be delusional sometimes, but this is the definition, I think, of delusion. The only caveat I will say is, she's open by saying they all know. They all know that they're dating a man who's also dating other women. And so they are signed up. They are aware. They have signed the consent form. They are there by choice.
I agree. I think what contradicts that is when you make a statement like I'm in a monogamous relationship.
I'm monogamous by choice, and that what we have is beautiful.
Right, because to me you have not accepted the state of what you're in. So that's where, it's almost like your actions don't really align with your words.
Right.
Yes, you are aware, but then how can you say you're aware? However, listen.
She's monogamous by choice. She is with only him. That is true by choice.
Right.
He is
so
not
you're in a polygamous relationship.
You are in a polygamous
that
relationship.
That is what polygamy,
Absolutely.
polyamorous, whatever
Absolutely.
word they want to use. So that's
Absolutely.
my point. I don't know if she's fully accepted. And I think those are words she chose for that interview.
Right. And she says people are concerned about, what they perceive it. I think there is a concern about the children. There's a concern about, it used to happen back in the South that a man would have a lot of kids and those kids would be around the same age, and then they would go off and then they would meet each other and date. Like they wouldn't even know they had the same connection. Now clearly these kids probably won't because all their last names are Cannon and they'll figure that out. But there's so many other things a child needs other than just financial support and the presence. But like you said, sometimes you raise a child by yourself and there's no dad there. So
you do. And I think, and I'm not in her mind, but I'm wondering if those are some of the things that they've told themselves for that to be acceptable, because sometimes and I've heard people say, well, he can afford it as long as he can afford it.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Because that's usually the thing, you having to do it by yourself, because sometimes for people do it by myself does not mean you're not there. It means that I am solely responsible for the financial or the fiduciary means to raise his child, right? But if you can pay for the school, I can be all those other things. Or maybe it could even mean you don't have to work, so I can be there to pick the kid up. I can drop the kid off at soccer. All of those things.
I can be present.
To your point, there are some people who feel like that may not be enough. I need that male figure, that voice, that bass, like you don't talk to your mother, like,
right. That little bit of fear, but also guidance.
And
so I mean, think about what your dad meant to you and what my dad means to me and what my children's father mean to them. And so for whatever I have with him, I value his position in their life, and he's constantly in his life. Though my children may be spending the night with me in my home, he's in their life. And though they may not be with me for a night or two because they're with him, I am constantly in connection and contact with them, right? So I don't know that you get that.
But think about why you feel that way. You felt that way because you had that.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have that, and then you had this,
and the next step was that,
then for her, or not her, but for them, it could mean that was more than what I had. Because clearly he's there. He may not be there as consistent or maybe as much, because I'm sure he's dividing his time. But if there is an at least, maybe that's her at least.
And you know what? It all comes back to conversations. I believe you should have the conversation and have it early, because if that is not what you want, you need to make that known.
Yeah.